Hi everyone, this is just a short video to show you how to use the Managebac platform. You should all have received an email directly through Managebac to set up an account. Most of you have logged in at least once, but some of you still need to do that. If you do need your login information resent to you, please email me and let you know and I can do that. So the first thing you're going to do is go to managebac.com. When you get there, you will get to this home screen. You will type in the email address that you provided for me, which is how I signed you up, and then find my school. And then whatever password that you change it to, you will put in that password and you will sign it. Now, once you log in, what you see will be slightly different than what I see, but I will go through each of the student screens so that you can understand what you're looking for. When you first log in, it should be just your information here, but I will go through what you will see for each of the different programs that we have. So if you are in the diploma program, so this will be for the grade 11s who have never used this, the grade 12 should be pretty familiar with all of this. I will just find a student here. We'll pick on Ali. So there's some information that you have provided to me that you will find there. And once you go through here, sorry, I'm just going to find a student. So we've got our grade 11 students here. We will click on, so at the top here, what you will see are some different tabs that you can click on for information. So not everything has information in there, but the first thing that you will see is CAS that will be useful for you. So CAS will be completed for all of these certificate students and for all of the diploma students. And once you come into here, there's some information that you can find. So there's a little video that shows you how to use Managebac in order to put your CAS experiences on here. And there's also some quick start guides at the bottom that has information that you can read. Okay, so please make sure that you take a look at those and read them. Once you start doing some CAS experiences, you can add them into your portfolio with this little button on the top right-hand corner that says Add CAS Experience. So it's drop-down menus, it's very user-friendly here. You would type in your experience name. So let's say, for example, I go to the gym 2 times a week. So that could be an activity experience that I can use. What strand am I doing? I just click on it. How long am I doing it for? So is this something that is a one-time activity, or is this an ongoing experience? So you can click that here as well. So if it's ongoing, and you can click more than one of these. This would be something that maybe you're doing individually because you're going to the gym on your own. And then how many hours are you doing this? So are you doing this for 1 hour each of the 2 times that you go? You can have a start and an end date. So if this is a one-time experience, then you would have the same start and end date. If this is something that you are doing over an extended period of time, then you can change the dates accordingly. If you have decided that you have a service activity instead, then you can indicate what type of service it is, and you can find out some more information as you read through all of those files at the bottom. Your experiences should be at least 1 strand, but it could also incorporate 2 or 3 strands at once. It's totally dependent upon what you're doing. Here you will write a little description of what it is that you're doing and what your goals are. So for example, at the gym, maybe your goal is to do a heavier deadlift by the time you get to the end, or maybe your goal is to learn how to run. And maybe right now you're running 1 minute on and 1 minute off, and then you want to have a goal in order to increase your running time. For all of your experiences, you do need a supervisor. So your supervisor could be someone that helps you to coordinate it. If this is something that you are doing through the school, perhaps it's a teacher. If you are doing this outside of the school, it could be a community member. In very limited cases, it could be a family member if you need somebody to indicate that you have completed something. But you should talk to Ms. Mendonça, who is your CAS supervisor, if you do have questions about that. Each of your CAS experiences needs to target at least one learning outcomes. So there are 7 learning outcomes, and I showed you this in the video that I came to your classes with. So at least one of these should be ticked off, but it could be more than one. Once you have completed your information here, you can add your CAS experience, and then it will prompt you to also put in a reflection. So I'm going to add this CAS experience. And now you can here add any documents. So for example, if you got a certificate for this, you can add a document here. If you have some pictures from the experience that you're doing, let's say you're doing something creative, you can take a picture of whatever it is that you created and you can add those documents here as well. And then afterwards, this will be approved by Ms. Mendonça as you go through and add experiences. The next tab on here is the extended essay tab. For the extended essay, this is something that you won't be looking at until you get to your religion course in second semester with Mr. Jelinas. He'll be talking to you about this process. But again, this is where all of everything will be kept. So for each student, there are some options that you'll see here. The first thing is you would need to add your actual proposal for when you start doing this. So in your proposal, you will have a subject. So the subjects are the subjects that we offer here at CCH. The best thing to do when you're choosing a subject is choose one of our IB subjects because that is the one that you will have a lot of course information about. Then your topic, what your specific research question is, and then any notes that you have. You will be working with a supervisor for your extended essay. And your supervisor could be an IB teacher or it could be a non-IB teacher. If you don't see the teacher that you are working with in the drop-down menu, I can add them. That's not a problem. I just need to know who the supervisor is. And again, you won't be worrying about this until second semester. Other tabs that you can use here are just some reflection space. So things that you have found, maybe as you're going through your research, you found some websites or videos, you can include all of that here as kind of a gathering ground for your information. The assessment tab shows you how it is that you are being marked on here. So this is your rubric, which is a great place to look for to make sure that you've got the right content in there. And the last part of this is the planning and progress form. This is important because it's your reflection on your extended essay process. There are 3 reflections that you will be completing after you speak to your supervisor. So you will be meeting with your supervisor at least 3 times. The first reflection will be done in your grade 11 year. The other 2 reflections will be done in grade 12. The final reflection is done once you have submitted your final extended essay. There are dates here for when you complete these reflections as well as the year. So when you're in grade 11, you are in year 1. When you are in grade 12, you are in year 2. For the certificate students, you will also see this extended essay tab, but you don't have to worry about that. So the next group that I want to take a look at is the career-related program. So for the career-related program, again, there are tabs here for the different components that you are responsible for. The first tab is your service learning. So the service learning is kind of like your CAS. There is a whole bunch of information here that you can read through on this side tab about service learning. And just like the CAS, you can add a service learning experience. So some information here about service learning, about the process and your portfolio. So if I want to add a service, again, I can click on the service name. I can indicate what type of approach is being used and how many hours. So the service learning is a minimum of 50 hours. And again, start and end dates. Is it a one-time thing or is it something that's ongoing? And then you also need your supervisor information and your description and goals. So I'm going to type in here, it's a volunteer, it's something that I'm doing through the school, and these here are the hours that you need to complete. So it could be a combination of any of these. Let's say I spent 1 hour doing that. I've got my supervisor information. I will click Add My Service. Once I get here, I can now again add documents. So if I got any certifications, if I have pictures, if I have emails from someone I corresponded with about this, all of that information can be put here. Your hours in progress will show how much you're doing, and then finally you have a timeline as well. Okay. One thing to take note of, there's also the service learning project that you work through. If this is part of your service learning project, let me go back here. Let's create another service here. If this is your service learning project, there is a little button to click here to show that this is what you're working on. So this is the larger component that you can work on with someone else in order to complete. The language portfolio, so I came to all of the grade 11 classes with a paper copy of the language portfolio, but I've also put it into here so that it's easier for you to keep track of everything. So for the language portfolio, there is a worksheet. You don't really have to worry too much about this, but in the planning and progress form is where I have put in all the different questions and reflections from that package that I gave you. So you can incorporate all of this here. I've grouped it by which component it is in the booklet, so you can clearly see that. And as you complete these, just put the date in which you do it. So this should take you the length of your octomester in which you're doing your language. And you can complete these at any time. They don't have to be done all at once. I would highly suggest that you kind of maybe do them in groups. Don't forget to lock it when it's done. And then finally at the end you can save your changes for that. The last tab on here is the reflective project. For the reflective project, this is similar to the extended essay for the career-related students. For the reflective project, for the students that are in LEAP, so that's the sports management or the health and wellness program, you will be working on this with Ms. Glover in your PPL course. And for those of you that are doing the STEM, you will be working with me and I'll be meeting with you to go over some of the expectations here. But just like the extended essay, there are, again, the same buttons. So here you can put in what your proposal is. For this one here, it's an ethical dilemma that's based on your co-op placement and the courses that you are taking. So what is your issue? When you're choosing a dilemma, it needs to be something that has two potential outcomes, and then turning that into a valid research question, and then here you can put in some notes. Okay, so the issue, I'll just type in issue right here. I can save those changes. And then now there are other, just like the extended essay, tabs here to help organize your work. For the assessment, there's a rubric here. And then for your planning and progress form, again, this is when you meet with your supervisor, so either myself or Ms. Glover, and then you will have a reflection again based on the times that you meet with your supervisor. These reflections, the first one will be done in grade 11, and then for the most part, your reflective project should be done in grade 11, but you will have some time to tweak it and refine it in grade 12 before it gets submitted. Okay, and then whenever you do something, always make sure to save your changes. If you do have any questions about how to use Managebac, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can email me and we can meet and go over some of these components in a little bit more detail. Please make sure you log on and start inputting your CAS and your service learning experiences as soon as you start doing them, because you don't want to leave that all up to the end and then have all this information that you have to put in at once. Thank you very much, guys, and have a great day.